Shortly after getting into watches a few years ago, a certain type of watch began grabbing my attention and catching my eye. I'm talking about compressor style dive watches. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm really drawn to compressor style watches. I don't know if it's the vintage feel that they have or those dual crowns that they have, but I'm just drawn to them. And so I began looking for a compressor style watch to possibly purchase. The problem I was running into is that many of them out there are made from luxury type brands. The first one that I had my eye on and my focus on was the Longines Legend Diver. Really beautiful compressor style watch with a vintage feel. But the problem is that the cheapest I could find it for was around $1,200 for a used model. And even if I had that kind of money sitting around, I'm not sure I would spend it on that watch or any watch at this point in time in my life. And so I began looking at different brands that make compressor style watches, and I came across Alpina, a Swiss watchmaking company who make the Alpina Seastrong Diver Heritage, or the Seastrong Heritage Diver. I forget exactly the order there, but just a beautiful watch. And I found this one in particular on eBay for an absolutely crazy price, brand new. I'm going to share that price, the price I paid, toward the end of this video, so you're not going to want to miss and find out what I paid for this watch. But I began to compare this Alpina with the Longines, and I began to find out that they're basically the same watch. The fit and finish and quality is right on par with one another, but I found this watch for quite a bit cheaper, and you can still find it for a lot cheaper too if you're in the market for a compressor style dive watch. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but I truly believe this Alpina Seastrong Diver Heritage is perhaps the Longines Legend Diver killer, because it's just a beautiful piece for a lot lower price than you can find the Longines. So we're going to look at this watch in a lot more detail in this video for a full review, and I hope that you'll stick with me. I have to say right off the bat that I feel a little bit bad because I don't feel like I can do justice to this watch as far as videography goes. There's a lot of great watch channels that can get those nice macro shots and all of those types of things. I don't have the ability to do that necessarily right now, but I still think you're going to enjoy getting to know this watch a little bit, learning more about it, and I hope this video will be helpful to you in some way. So let's get over to the table there and start looking at this beautiful Alpina in more detail. Well, here it is, the Alpina Seastrong Diver Heritage. I am wearing gloves today to try and keep my filthy fingerprints off of this watch for the review at least. I just want to do a quick wrist check. It's kind of a unique side-by-side. I've got my Casio World Time on, which is the cheapest watch that I own in my collection. You can get these for like 20 bucks, whereas this Alpina has a MSRP of $1,795. Now, as I mentioned already, I did not pay anywhere near that. I got a great deal on this watch, so stay tuned to the end to find out what I paid. But this is still the most expensive watch that I've ever purchased. I don't know if that gives you a hint or not, but let's get into the details about this watch. You know, I want to throw up a few pictures next to this Alpina so you can see some other compressor style watches that are out there. I know JLC has what they call a Polaris, which is a beautiful piece. Those go for around $6,000. IWC has their Aqua Timer, which you can find for around $4,000. And then, of course, as we've already mentioned, there's the Longines Legend Diver. You can see that these watches are very similar in their appearance, but that watch is quite a bit more expensive than you can find the Alpina, as we've already mentioned. Let's put up some specs and features of this Alpina. The model number is there. They use their own movement, which is modeled after the Sellita SW200. The crystal on this watch, which we're going to talk more about in more detail, is just so amazingly and well done. It's a boxed sapphire crystal, and it's got double AR coating on the top and on the bottom. The case material is stainless steel, but as you can see, there's this bronze color that is a PVD coating. Case diameter is measured at 42 millimeters, although I measured it more like 41.5 with my own measurements. Case thickness is quite thin, coming in around 12 millimeters, just a little bit above 12 millimeters as far as I've measured it. The lug to lug is 50 millimeters, and the lug width is an odd 21 millimeters. It comes on this leather strap, which we'll talk about a little bit more, and it comes with an extra strap as well. The water resistance is 300 meters or 1,000 feet, and I weighed this watch with the leather strap at around 90 grams. Just a little bit about the movement. I ended up opening up the case back, and I'll roll some video of showing you the inside of this movement, because unfortunately we don't have an open case back there to see it. So I opened it up to look at it, see what it looks like. The power reserve on this movement is around 38 hours. It's 28,800 vibrations per hour. It's a 26 joule movement, and there is hand winding and there is hacking. Let's talk about the design and durability of this watch, starting off with the case. What drew me to this watch, now it comes in a number of different colorways, but this model in particular, the color, just amazing colors. Look at this case. I don't know what you want to call it. You know, a lot of people say it's a bronze color. You know, it really looks almost copperish. Some people I've read say it has a rose gold feel to it. I don't know, but it's just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm drawn to that color right off the bat. Beautiful finishes, as you can see. There's a lot of polished surfaces, like the tops of these lugs here, and the beveled edge are polished. Around this bezel here, there's not much of a bezel, but that's polished as well. These crowns are polished, and the center part of the case is more of a satin type finish, but just really well done and top-notch finishings on this watch. It's a thin watch, even with that beautiful domed sapphire crystal that is there. And there's no exhibition case back, as we mentioned, but the engraving on the back is well done and beautiful in its own respect. And it's definitely a nice screw down case back that it has here. Just mention the crowns real quick. I measured the crowns. They're about 5.7 millimeters wide and 4 millimeters tall. They're pretty much the same as far as their size. As you can see, the top crown has this more typical compressor style design on the face of the crown, whereas the bottom crown has Alpina's symbol there. And the crowns really work great. They're both screw down crowns, and they pop out nicely, and you can use them really easily and screw them back down. Something that I just wanted to note about the crown's position, something I thought initially, is that the crowns were symmetrical, that they would be in the exact same positions between the two lugs here. But it really ends up that this top one is much closer to the top lug than the bottom one is to the bottom lug. There's more space in between the bottom than the top. So if you're someone who has OCD, that might bother you, but that's the way they've designed the watch. So they're not exactly geometrical and symmetrical in their centeredness between the lugs, but honestly it doesn't make that much of a difference. But it's just something to note if you care about that type of thing. The crowns are really well made, and as we already pointed out, have a polished look to them. Talk about the crystal on this watch. I think it's one of my favorite aspects of this watch. It's just really far protruding out of the case, and it's just gorgeous. I love to be able to see that and see how the dial is distorted a little bit as you turn the watch. It gives this watch a really unique feel, and it's one of my favorite parts is just the crystal, and it's really well done and placed in there just right, and just a gorgeous aspect of this watch. The crystal is amazing. It has AR coating on the top as well as the bottom. There's not much of a bezel here on the outside, but there is the inner bezel, which is manipulated by unscrewing this top crown, and it's bi-directional, so you can move it either way and set it in whatever position you want, and then screw it down again to lock it in place. But that works well. The dial is really gorgeous as well. Has a chocolate sunburst feel to it, and it's just gorgeous. I apologize for the reflections. I don't feel like the the anti-reflective coating is doing a good job right now, but that chocolate dial is just really gorgeous and delicious, you might say, and is a beautiful aspect of this watch. The indices, as you can see them here inside the dial, they're applied, and they're also a bronze type color, and they're very thin baton shaped. You get double batons at the 15 and 30 and 45, and then at the top you get applied Alpina triangle logo, also that beautiful bronze color. And the indices, I think, fit perfectly with this watch. You do get a date window, as you can see there, at a unique position, kind of in between the 3 o'clock and the 4 o'clock position. The hands on this watch, I think, are well done. They seem to be clean and cut out really nicely. And you have that large triangle on the minute hand, which I like the design of. And we'll talk about the loom here in a second. You get the Alpina writing there, 1883 Geneva, automatic Seastrong, and then the 300 meters, 1,000 feet water resistant. And then down below you get Swiss made. Really gorgeous dial, simple in most respects, but just beautiful. As far as loom goes, there's no loom on any of these outer markings on the inner bezel, except for this upside down triangle up here. Now, other versions of this Seastrong Diver Heritage, I've seen pictures where these outer indices on the bezel are loomed, but for some reason on this colorway, they are not. It's just that top triangle and the hands, which we'll see now as we look at a quick loom shot. Now my camera doesn't do the loom justice, but you can see the hands come in pretty nicely. As far as that triangle on the inner bezel, it fades pretty quick, but the loom comes in a lot better than my camera's picking up. Well, let's talk about the strap real quick. It comes on a really nice brown, dark brown leather strap that's really supple and soft, and you get their branding there. It's got a couple keepers. One slides around, one is sewed in, and the buckle is well polished with their Alpina logo there as well, and of course that matches the color of the case. Now the problem I found with this leather strap is that it doesn't fit me because there's only 6 points of adjustment, and it ends up being way too big for my 6.5 inch wrists. But thankfully they give you an extra strap that is more of a black color or a really dark brown color, and so I'm thankful they put this in. And actually, let me snap my fingers and change out the strap right now. There we go. That's better. So you can see it's now on the rubber strap that I can actually wear, and that fits me. I'll throw in some wrist shots, but I'm thankful they threw this in. It looks black, but I feel like when I wear it with the brown dial and the bronze color, it almost makes the strap feel like a dark brown rather than a black. Maybe it's just me and I'm seeing things, but I'm thankful they threw that strap in. Let's talk about price of this watch. I've kind of hyped that up a little bit. Of course, the MSRP on this is $1,795 for this colorway, at least. Some of the other colors might be priced a little bit different. Whereas the Longines Legend Diver, the MSRP comes in at $2,400. Now you can find this watch on Joma Shop for around $1,150 right now, and I looked at the Longines, and that's on Joma Shop for around $1,675. So there's quite a difference. Even if you buy it brand new from a place like Joma Shop, if you go on eBay, you can find the Longines. The cheapest I found it was for $1,215 for a used model. Now the cheapest I found one of these right now, brand new, is around $800. Now I think there's only one of them on eBay that I found. Most of them are around $1,000, a little more than $1,000 for brand new, but there is one on there for $800. Now I didn't pay anywhere near that price in the thousands or even $800, but I got this watch. I paid, believe it or not, I paid $459 for this very watch. Brand new. You can see my unboxing video of this very piece, and you'll see that there were no scratches, no blemishes, no problems whatsoever. And even as I opened the case and looked at the movement, saw no issues. You can go back and watch that and see. Now if you see any scratches or issues right now, it's because of me, like around when I scratched up the case back a little bit in certain places when I opened it up, unfortunately, but that's all from me, and so anything you see is from me. This watch was flawless when I bought it, and I paid $459 to get it shipped, and with taxes it turned out to just be around $480, and so it's an amazing price. Now how is that possible for a brand new watch? Well, if you watch my unboxing, you know that this watch was refurbished, and when I talked to the company that sold me this watch. They said that it's never been worn, that perhaps it was an overstock that they could not sell for new, and so they have to sell it refurbished. And so I got a brand new watch for well over 70% off of the price, and it's just a gorgeous piece, and I'm so happy that I got it for an amazing price of less than $500 for a $1,795 MSRP watch. So super happy about that. I'm gonna share my final thoughts about this watch now in front of the camera, so I'll see you back over there. Well, there you go, the Alpina Seastrong Diver Heritage. Just an amazing, gorgeous watch. I truly believe if you're in the market for a Swiss-made compressor-style dive watch, you should look no further than this watch right here. I do believe that this could be the Longines Legend Diver killer. The fit and finish, the quality of this piece is just on par, if not better, than the Longines, and you can find it for a much more reasonable price than that Longines. And so if you're in the market for a compressor style dive watch, Swiss made, this could be it. I'll leave some links in the description below where you can purchase this watch, and it's just an absolute gorgeous piece. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date when we put out more videos, and we'd really appreciate that. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll be doing another watch giveaway. I've already done one in the past, so looking forward to doing another one of those once we reach 1,000 subscribers. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. Please hit the subscribe button. But thanks for tuning in today to J City Reviews. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.